Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to build this very simple footstool. Let's get on with it. I started with a good piece of planed redwood 2x4 that I bought locally. This needs measuring out as we need to double up the lengths to make the right width. I marked out the cut lines with a scribing knife and then cut to rough length by hand. I wanted to joint these by hand, even though technically I don't own a jointer now. My great-grandfather's 4-plane was roped in, supplemented with a little Stanley No. 3 to smooth up. I'm jointing here using my new toy, a Triton biscuit jointer. Once you get the hang of the kick when it fires up, these are quick and easy to use. Gluing up. I love this. In any build it gives me the most satisfaction. I really like the feel of the glue on my fingertips. The biscuits allow for very precise but adjustable fit. Plenty of clamps used here to apply even but low pressure to the join. The legs and cuts need measuring out. I deliberately cut long to allow for any mistakes, which, as you'll see, was wise. I set the table saw to 45 degrees and used the mitre to slide the cut. The weight of the glued up block caused drag which torqued up the cut into the blade and prevented me from restarting this cut on the table saw. This initial cut needed finishing by hand. Here I'm using my new skewback saw from Spear & Jackson. It needed the lacquer cleaning off the blade, but once done, it glides through pretty much any wood. I decided to shorten the pieces being cut and measured off the first block. This being a full cut, I started in on the bench. And then moved into the vise. This saw is my current favourite tool. It's also not hardpoint, so it can be resharpened as needed. It should last me a lifetime. I trimmed up the other leg on the table saw and then offered up to check fit. The legs are lined up using the biscuits, so need marking to line up the cuts. With clear marks, the cuts are easy to make, and the jointer makes light work of this. Be careful on 45-degree joints to set the depth gauge deep enough that it does not cut clean through. On thinner materials, this is best done on some scrap before working on the real thing. No such problems here. Time for another test fit. Seems fine. The legs need a little decoration to lift up from being boring, and also to help with balance on carpets. By butting the bottom ends together and using a 35mm Forstner bit, a half circle can be cut to make feet on each leg. I also cut a decorative hole in each, just to make it visually more interesting. Time for the final glue up. I could go on about my love of the gluing process, but here the clamping was actually more interesting. The joints needed pressure in 2 axes, plus extra pressure to avoid spread at the leg ends. Luckily I was able to figure this out before it was too late. The unclamping was a doddle. The whole thing needs a tidy up at this stage, which I did using my No. 3 Stanley Bailey. To improve the look, comfort and usability, chamfer the edges using a plane. This provides a good quality of finish, which can be smoothed further with sanding in the finishing stages. I chose to leave this without finish, as I think it will age nicely. So there we have it. A very simple footstool, constructed using some of my favourite methods, and a new one using the biscuit jointer. I'm quite excited by this purchase, and I can see lots of uses for it in the future. It does mean that some of you won't be able to build a similar footstool, and just simply gluing this would have worked just as well, I feel, but I wanted to try out the new tool. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment, and if you do comment, I will respond. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.